Hello Internet, this is Roshi and I'm back with another reaction. Kind of. More of a breakdown, an analysis, some speculation, just sharing some thoughts, whatever that may be. Today I am watching the 5.6 version trailer for Genshin Impact, Paralogism. And man, this was crazy. For those who don't know, I have watched the special program. I reacted to it, a spoiler-free version of it. So please, in the comment section, if you feel inclined to write something, please do not include spoilers of anything that has happened in the game, because I'm still very early on playing through it. But I still react to these version trailers just so I can kind of share my thoughts about what may be coming in the near future. Plus other things that I just like to talk about in general. You know, it's just how I do. For those of you who have a problem with that, get lost. Anyway, moving on. I think that this is very hype. My initial reaction, I didn't want to get into it too much because there's so much more of the special program to go and see. But today, what I've decided to do is that I'm going to watch it again, one time through, and then the next time I'm going to look back at some parts, maybe watch it over again. We'll see how I feel and talk about specific things that I want to share my voice on. But without further ado, let's get into it.
ウィンドブルーム祭の本番がもうすぐ始まるぞ。早く見に行こうぜ。
どう？よかったでしょ？
旅人、いらっしゃい。シバルマラン AA ランドファミリーに加わる準備はできた？グルメ系 AA に出てくるみたいな超豪華なご飯も欲しいぜ。
両選手、準備ができたようですね。それではホテル・ドゥボール特別料理対決開始。
カトラリーの準備も完了。冷凍の時間よ。最高の一品よ。
とにかくそこのレストランからナタ産の野菜を至急調達したいと依頼を受けて、僕とイファが来ることになったんだ。
俺は付き添いでな。さあ行くぞ。おっと逃がすかよ。
月始めの3日間、飛行物を連れて外出してはいけないらしい。
参ったな。
ここは昔レムリア時代に建てられた公衆浴場で、確かモデストの秘典に書いてあったような気がするわ。
真の偉大なる蛮族滅びよ。
古竜の時代の謎の遺物、それに俺がフォンテーヌに来た理由を合わせて考えれば、例の密輸事件の捜査を逃れたものかもしれない。
僕の師匠にして母の黄金レインドットさ。彼女が僕をモンドに向かわせた時、ある大きな課題を与えたんだ。世界の真相を探せというね。
なんで街の中に魔物がいるんだ？想像してたよりも状況がひどいみたい。
また敵が来るぞ。
本件の被告人、セピロス騎士団調査小隊隊長アルベド。
何をしたんだ？殺人事件？
ホムンクルスが暴走して理性を失い、他者を傷つける狂気的な行動に走る。
魔女会と正式な会談を行うことを願ってるんだ。
あら、そんな勇気のある子がまだモンドにいたの？
天地が逆さになった時、人は世界の本質を知る。なら盤面が逆さになったら
罪のない人を。
どうしてこんなことに。ヴィレットが襲撃にあって。
これはレムリアが戦争のために用意した薬物なのよ。人体研究という課題を諦めたことは一度もない。モンドの法律にのっとり被告人アルベドを殺人および死体遺棄で有罪とする。
今も近くから聞こえるよ。
お、なんだバルバトスか。
ファルか。
Okay. All right. Now, let's take a moment and just talk about some things, look it over, all that good stuff. Man. Oh, boy. Okay. So, in my special program reaction, I talked about how excited I was because we're getting Albedo again. We're getting Venti again. We're focusing on some Mondstadt shenanigans. You got Diluc and Kaya side by side. You have all of this stuff. You have Alice. You've got a Varka voice drop of sorts. Like, it's... There's a lot. There's a lot going on here. I am so excited for this part. And the last time I felt this excited about Genshin Impact in story content of stuff that I've yet to experience is pretty much the entirety of Fontaine and now this. Like, yeah, Sumeru's a thing, Natlan's a thing, all that stuff, but the things that I'm really looking forward to are just Fontaine's story for the most part, and anything revolving around Venti or Albedo's. That is... That's the bread and butter for me. That's what does it for me when it comes to Genshin Impact lore things right now. I mean, all of it is very interesting. There's a lot of very interesting things. But this is the stuff that really spikes my interest. Now, where to even freaking begin? I think before I get into the Mondstadt, Venti, Albedo, all that stuff, I should talk about some of the other things, such as the events that they're introducing here, new characters, and so on. So let's go over here. We have, oh man, I always forget her name. Escofa? It's not Escoffier, like you don't pronounce the R, it's like Escofia or something like that. Forgive me. I know that I've heard it said a billion times before. Very bad with names, as you can tell. So, this character, I understand, is going to be amazing for freeze teams. Which hypes me up a lot. Like, that makes me very, very happy, because even though a lot of people are like, nah, freeze teams are not great anymore, or they just aren't because it doesn't really help you with boss enemies, you can't freeze them. They're making a point, at least in the special program, to say that, well, even though boss enemies might not be frozen, you're still doing a crap ton of damage because you're still lowering their resistance to cryo by a lot. So Hydro and Cryo together on a team is the most optimum thing, which is what I like to run for the most part. I mean, of course, I mix it up and stuff, and I'll have like Beidou on my team, or I'll bring a Xiangling every once in a while again. But you know, when it comes to my playstyle, I like just the Cryo stuff. I'm the Lord of Cryo. She will come home at some point. Maybe not right away, but one day she probably will. So now the thing is, there are some other things. I am looking forward to finding out more about this character, about her character demo, trailer, her character teaser. I want to know more. As of right now, all I'm getting is that she is the Gordon Ramsay of Genshin Impact. Fair, that's fine. She's a chef. She's super passionate at what she does. She will go as far as to insult you. She is just a little shy away from calling someone an idiot sandwich. We know this to be true, but that is also because she is very passionate about her craft, and she is just as hard on herself as she is with other people. At least that's what they've told us. Apparently, she is not a demon. She does not have a tail, but the thing that is on her is a mecha with a K, because let's be different, I guess. And it's not like a mech suit, but it's technology that she had created that is supposed to assist with her cooking, and there's other things that she has created as well. Why it's a tail? I don't know. Because it doesn't get in the way of her arms, even though it technically would have to reach across her whole body to do something in front of her. It's supposed to mimic a tail. We all know this. And they know it too. It's the joke. It's like they call it the demon chef. Like it's a haha hee hee. You made yourself a tail. Good. It's fine. I did appreciate her animations. The little that we've seen, they look really cool. Let me see if I could find out where that is in here at all. Like this stuff. Okay, yeah, this is it. She's a polearm user. She is using her tail for the weapon. That is sick. That is awesome. Let me replay this part. I just want to see a little bit of it. Yep. I love that so much. I love that so much. That, like, even if her attacks, which is too early to say now because I'm not getting that good of a look, even if they were to mimic other polearm user attacks for like basic motion, whatever that is, her animations are already probably one of the most different out of the characters that are other polearm users, just because she's not even using her hands for more than half the time. So she's moving very differently. There's a lot more motion to it. As far as what's the word I want to use? There's momentum. There's momentum to that. They're doing a very good job recently with these characters and their momentum buildup and what one thing leads into the next thing. I mentioned that in the Verissa character trial when I did that. How if you were to stop halfway through her animations, she'll stumble and fall because of momentum, and that's what would happen if you tried to stop what was supposed to be a fluid motion instead of going into the next part to perform the attack, right? You know, if you stop way half through a somersault, you are going to stumble. It's just it's what happens, gravity and shit. So I'm really glad to see that they're actually, at least animation-wise, showing different things here as far as how she's moving. There was a moment where she had her arms completely crossed and her tail was slashing the polearm. That's sick. I love that. There's just something so badass about that. Now, the things that I'm not super crazy about. She's wearing an apron virgin sweater, and it bothers me immensely. I wish there was a side. I wish there was a back, or more of a back, to her outfit. I think it's really weird that she's this, for lack of a better word, scantily clad, when she is someone who is working in a kitchen. I get it. Gotcha game, sex sells, all that stuff. They're going to do that. I'm not trying to say that like she is a character who is like overly perverted or anything like that, but it is strange for that to be the case. Like, for example, a lot of people were giving Verissa shit because of her animations, but I was able to make sense out of those animations like I just described. That's how that is. Period. Here, though, there's not a logical reason why you would be bareback in a kitchen making food. That's not a thing. People don't do that unless they can't afford a shirt or they have no ability to get a shirt or something like that. Usually you are more clothed and protected. So the logic for her design, although I don't hate her design, but the logic behind it isn't there. Does that make sense? You can make that argument about a lot of these characters. I'm not going to hold on to that like too much because it is just a fantasy game. Who honestly cares? I know some of you really, really do, but that is just my opinion. I can definitely understand why with this, why people were like, I'm upset by this because it actually doesn't make sense. I get it. I understand. I'm not going to be butthurt about it, but I understand the frustration here. I still think so far from what we've seen, she's pretty cool, and at least would be very useful on a team such as what I like to run. So, considering, you know, I mean, just from the little that I saw here, I'm very curious to see what other things come out about her. Yeah. So, there is that. Moving on to the next character that they are showing here is Aoife. Right? I believe I'm saying that right. Now, first time seeing anything about this bird buddy that he's got. I've heard quite a few people in the comments saying that this bird is a menace. I got the hint of that after watching the special program. With the no way, bro, like that whole thing, like that's okay. That's not gonna get annoying. It actually is more funny than it is annoying. But we'll see. We'll see, I guess. I do like the overall design here. It is a very cute and chaotic looking creature. So I'm about that. As far as Aoife himself, love his design. I love that he's a veterinarian, and he's got his box. He's got like his tools here, his medical equipment, and he also has a gun, which it's clearly a gun, but he's also shooting healing stuff too, or things to potentially help heal you and your team, and that's neat. That's cool. It's that Western cowboy style thing going on that side of Natlin, and I dig it. I'm 100% thinking that's a cool thing. There is still some, because it is still a tribe, there is some of that still. You got your feathers, you got your the shapes, the colors, how things are very angular in that tribal style way. He's got a tribal neck tattoo thing. He's got some interesting stuff going on. I really, really, really like his design. He looks like a cowboy. He looks like a doctor. And he's just cool. He's a cool looking character. They really pulled off his look very well. He would, if I was going to put him on my character design tier list, which maybe I should redo someday again, sometime when I reach further on in the game and feel like I can redo that, he would be up there. He's definitely high A, maybe even an S, because I just like his design and the color choice that much for this dude. I really, really dig his aesthetic. That being said, I think the gameplay is interesting. I like that he's another gun user, because we have people like Chevreuse and we have Chlorind, and they're pretty sick. And I like how he's kind of bringing something else to the table. It's a little different, and he's an animo. And I should also say, what's her name? Oh my god. Elf lady with the big old laser cannon. You know what I'm talking about. I can't believe I'm forgetting her name right now. Is it like Cheska or something? No. I can't remember. Anyway. Sorry about that. There's a lot of characters, and I'm very noobish when it comes to remembering stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, his gameplay style, it looks interesting. It's cool. I like how he can kind of fly and hover a little bit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Wanderer's attack helicopter mode, where he's just kind of flying up in the air and just blasted down at people. He's got something similar, but it's a gun, and he's doing the swirl thing, and also it combos with the electro charge. Now, honestly, I think that's really cool. I can see why he'd be an awesome character to use and have. For me, though, it's not something that I would necessarily want. I'm also saying this before I see more of him, and I said the same thing about Verissa before I ended up pulling for her anyway, because of how much fun that she felt to use. Now, but with the difference here is that for some reason, there are some characters that have very good game feel, and then there's others that are just character with the game. Like, for example, one of the first ones that had really good game feel was Heizo or Risley, because they're punching and brawling, and when you're watching their trailers and stuff, you can like feel that impact of when their hits connect. I'm not trying to make a joke because of Genshin Impact. I'm actually feeling like there's sometimes you could see something and be like, ooh, yeah, that hit was hard. That must have felt good. When it came to watching Aoife just now, I didn't get that. And I don't know if it's because we saw him flying around or what that was, but even with his gunshots, unlike Chlorinde, who seemed to have good game feel to me, watching her shoot people with the quick blasting in place, like, you know, she's moving, shifting her position, this guy felt more floaty. And maybe that is because he's kind of doing spins and flips, and he's covering the air and just going pow, pow, pow. And maybe it would feel different once you actually get to use him. But watching him, how he was presented here, I didn't get that solid hit feel that really sells a character's gameplay to me. But that's just me. That could totally change once I actually try his trial, so I'm not holding it against him. I'm just saying right now that his gameplay style and the feel of it that I got from watching this didn't stick out as much as other things about him. I think whatever story he's involved with is going to be really freaking cool. I like that he's a vet. I like the cowboy vibe. I think he's probably a very personable character. He's got this funny dynamic with his chaotic bird pal that he saved the life of, but it's still like a menace. And, you know, there's a lot of that I do like about him. But would I ever pull for him? As of right now, no. But we will see as time goes. That's really what I had to say about the characters that they showcased here. Now, I do want to mention some of the events that they mention. We got something here where we have Kinich in Fontaine, and there's like an investigation going on. We got our Aoife here as well, flying away with his bird. And this involves Risley and Nouvelette, and there's a case to be solved. Somewhat of a mystery, or just trying to figure out what's actually going on. They explained it in the special program, so I'm not going to get too into that. This is probably something that I'll have to watch and make a reaction of at some point in time, because I'm not going to Fontaine right now for anything. There is also, even before all that, they showed this. There's another one where there is a cooking competition, which will probably be a lot of fun. Yeah, these events showed off some interesting mechanics. They showed that there is another cooking competition thing here. They showed that there is going to be like some business market simulator thing from seeing this stuff. There's going to be another thing, which I'm not sure if they showed any footage of in here, but it was of attack and defense simulation of sorts, going up against other people, and then like a coin game where you can turn into the Saurians and move around and attack each other with. So that they seem like they are going more into the mini games, which they've always done, but here they look like they are improving upon them, which is nice. Or at least I hope so. Maybe it will still feel very bare bones when you actually get into it, but the concepts at the very least are interesting me. Like the potion ascension thing was very like, oh, we're doing a market, we're selling potions, blah blah blah. That had a little bit of what they were showing in the special program, as far as, yeah, you are running like a business, like a market square and stuff, and getting people to help you. Like, it seemed like that, but more involved. So they're taking like the next step in that kind of simulation. And I really do like these alternate mini games and ways for gameplay. I look forward to seeing them evolve and them to get more detailed and, you know, just kind of fun. My only problem is that I hope that the majority of the fan base, or at least the vocal people, don't shoot it down too much. Unless if it's actually done horribly, then by all means, you should be sharing your opinions. But I get a sense that a lot of people are, when they're like, something is too hard, get rid of it. And that feeling sucks, because I'd rather a game have some kind of challenge to it, especially a game where it's like, yeah, you should probably log on every single day for 10, 15 minutes at a time, do your stuff to get whatever little rewards you can, and then sign off. And like, no, we need things every once in a while, even more so to just add more substance to it. I'm more into the story and the lore of the world in general, so it doesn't affect me that much. But if gameplay needs to improve or should improve, I don't think a challenge is bad. Not everyone is going to agree with that, and that's okay. There are different kinds of gamers. I'm coming from a background of someone who enjoys getting my ass kicked in Souls-like games. Believe it or not. So that, I mean, that's why I just kind of bash my head into the wall until I figure out the pattern and get through it in the most ridiculous ways possible. When it's like, why don't you just have this kind of team press these three buttons and freaking win? It's because that's boring to me, and I'd rather torture myself because I'm a masochist. Get over it. I did a long time ago. Look at how awful I'm doing. But that's just how I enjoy myself. Anyway, what I'm saying is I do like the variety that they are bringing with this version trailer. Maybe I'm understanding it wrong. Maybe they've done these things before and it's not that big of a deal and it's going to be bad according to a lot of people. Who knows? I'm just sharing my opinion upon a first glance. And if I ever get a chance to do any of these things, which I probably won't because a lot of them take place in other regions that I haven't been to yet, then it is what it is. Anyway, moving on. I do want to talk about, they showed some bosses here, somewhere. Here, yeah. This is some stuff. This is cool. We got like a protector of sorts, and you got another contraption doing some crazy things, and I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I'm sure there is all sorts of lore tied to these things as well, as there usually is. Just based on how they were introduced with the voice lines behind them. If they are associated to what we see on screen, then it sounds pretty epic, and I look forward to finding out the reason why these things are here one day. Yeah, so there's that as well. When it comes to moving forward in my, analysis and speculation here, I'm just going to say what I feel. I know that these trailers are put together in a certain... Okay, guys, I say this all the freaking time, but I have to because there's always someone in the comment section where it's like, well, actually, the talking is not associated with the visuals on screen because it's a trailer. I know that. I've always known that. But I still like to consider things and put things together, so I'm going to. And that's just what that is. So, moving forward, the actual Archon quest stuff that we get into is crazy. And I'm not going to look too deep into the visuals matching the text because of what I just said, but I am going to talk about both. We're having another Windbloom Festival, guys. That's cool. Man. And how chaotic that gets. Just the voiceover of Albedo. It's gotta be Albedo. He says, my master and mother. Talking about gold. Rhine-daughter. Oh, man. Oh, God. I have to let me find my boy. There he is. Get him on screen. Yes. My boy. Albedo. Man, I love Albedo. It's like, I know it probably wouldn't be a good idea, But if I could be a character, it would probably be Albedo. And that's not a good idea. That's not a good thing to, that's not a good choice. Considering all the things that have happened and what he's associated with could be all that stuff. Not a good idea. But if I could be an ounce as cool as this guy, hell yeah. Or other things, depending on the situation. Might not even be him. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But let's get into that a little bit. I love Albedo's character and his story. From what I understand of it, I like it a lot. And I like his role in the universe in the Knights of Favonius. I do think it's really interesting how there has always been this skepticism with him, especially from the church, Rosaria, spies on him and stuff. And he's not human. He was an experiment. He's brought to life. He's a synthetic, chalk-made being. It's boy. He goes through. He's gone through and is going through a lot of stuff. And that makes it interesting. And it's to the point where he himself is unsure of what he is capable of, it seems. Because he has talked about, if I were to lose control, would you be the one to stop me? Referring to the Traveler. But it also says if, so he doesn't know if he is. And now we're seeing the scene of him being a suspect and a trial taking place in Mondstadt for a crime of murder. Now, my first thought, honestly, when I saw that, is I'm like, is this somehow the return of Primordial Albedo? The first Albedo, the one that was eaten by Durin and all that jazz? Is this one back? How did that happen in the first place? Did Albedo go and actually, went to confront the other, right? But we don't know what that interaction is. That's left up in the air. That's did that one actually take over Albedo's spot? Or did Albedo actually kill that other one? The primordial one? Or did they come to an agreement and work side by side, do different things, so Albedo could be in more than one place at once? There could be something like that going on as well. Maybe that is the case, and then maybe there was something that fell through, and Primordial Albedo kind of went on a little killing spree. Maybe did a oopsie, killed somebody, and now because no one else knows about this secret, Albedo's in trouble for it. These are just ideas that popped in my head immediately when it's Albedo's on trial. I'm like, fuck! Damn it! Or is it something where Albedo has been tracking the false Albedo for this whole time and ended up actually killing him in Mondstadt, and that's the body that they found? Who knows? I don't think that would be the case. I think Albedo would be smarter than to actually get rid of his other self inside a populated city. That would be really, really out of character and dumb for him. So I don't think that would be the case. But I don't think Albedo is responsible for the murder unless if he had a really, really good reason. He'd have to have a really good reason, and if he were to actually plead guilty at any point in time in the trial, it's because he is trying to protect someone else. And who would that be is my big question. It could go in so many different ways. What I would like for it to be, what I would like for it to be is that maybe it was involving some primordial version of Albedo, right? Whether or not he had been around the whole time and something happened and he lost control. And, one of the reasons why he was kind of ex-nate in the first place, because wasn't perfect. It was flawed. He was going to break regardless mentally. So there could have been that. And maybe Albedo didn't see that, where it's I'll give you a chance because we're going to talk things out, and then ended up malfunctioning anyway and it went in the wrong direction. So there's that possibility. I think that would be really cool to bring in a second Albedo here. That'd be sick. I would like that. I would really, really like that return. But of course, that is not guaranteed. Oh man, nothing I say is guaranteed, obviously. This is all speculation here. Let's move on. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Gold or Rhindaughter is part of the Hex Circle, whatever it's called, the thing that Alice is a part of. So when we're looking at the chess game, right, we get this one in a blue hat. Is this gold? Or like reflecting gold in some way? Because Alice is the red hat. I'm not sure. Because I'm trying to think of Simulanka, and I'm trying to think of the 3 goddesses or whatever they were called, and those represented the Hexen Circle, whatever they're called. The group of witches, of magic users. Alice is one of them, and then there's 2 others, and one of the 3 is gone, supposedly, like she's dead, I think, and then the other one would be Gold, right? Or is Gold the one that is dead? Maybe they're both dead. I don't know. Either way, it just gets me thinking. Of course I'm also misremembering stuff. Look how badass my boy is. Anyway, he does like the Thanos snap and everything too. Like, come on. Whenever you have a character just do like that snap on screen, and like the music and everything amps up to that, it's game over. That character automatically becomes the best character in that game. Same thing happened when I reacted to Honkai Impact 3rd. Where it was just like that, one of those first trailers that I watched, where it's just like, snap, and like the music just... I talked about it already. You can go watch my Honkai Impact 3rd trailer, or whatever, reactions, if you want. They're not trailers. I don't know what they are. Cutscenes. Oh man. I mean, how do you not just like, oh yeah, you're just amazing, cool, good, glad you could do that for us. I've also talked about before how the chess game gets me all like freaked out in good ways, just because I don't know if it's going to connect to whatever, but oh man, it's like this, like the whole Genshin Impact thing is just it's a chess game. It just is. It's the whole, the white pieces versus the black pieces, and that symbolizes like Ether's thing, and like your sister's thing, and you have the Gnosis and the people who are just aware that everything is just a freaking game. Like that, it's so there. It hasn't been directly said as of yet, but it's so just in my face there, and I can't. So the fact that we're like doing more chess imagery visuals just gets me in my brain like freaking out. So I can't help that. It's a freak out in a good way. And the fact that Alice is an opponent, and then someone else from the group of mages, I'm like, oh, these people have been around forever and they know so much that we don't, and it's just how it's just such, in a way, breaking the fourth wall, and I love it. So there's that as well. We got our trial stuff going on here, you know. With like so many people. Yeah. I'm... Strange enough, I wasn't expecting to do it. Maybe it's because I did my deeper dive on Kaya. I'm kind of fanboying over this moment. Like, to see this one day, this is epic as hell, man. That's cool. Just the bros guarding the bridge against the Hilichurls from getting into Mondstadt, or whatever that's supposed to be. That's sick, because it's like two very different paths in life due to something that, you know, went wrong between them in their relationship, yet still here for the same cause, which means it's just a big moment for me anyway. Not saying that they haven't worked together in the past before, but actually side by side at the same time, at the ready to fight the oncoming horrors that are approaching to defend this city, whether it's duty, obligation, whatever, it's like they're here to do that, and they're going to be working together. That's sick. This is going to be an awesome cutscene, I hope. Cause oh my god. Yeah, just from some of the things that they showed, it looks like the cutscenes that are coming up are just going to be freaking fantastic. I don't know, is anyone else as excited as I am for returning to Mondstadt at some point? Cause like there's just so much that could be covered still, and like, you know, like none of these places are really finished and they could be returned to, and Mondstadt was one of the first places that you were there. Like, it was the first place. And of course there's been events and stuff, but it's like, it's not just like, oh, Windbloom Festival, learn how to make a poem, talk to NPCs, go from point A to point B, and then it's done. There are stakes right now, and it's so cool. It's so cool that there are like these stakes, these risks and things that are being taken, all this political intrigue in the background. You know, it's a secret court session about Albedo. This is not out in the open because you can't be like, one of our people might be a murderer. Like, you know, like, you know, from the group that's supposed to be protecting the citizens, one of us might be killing citizens. That's kind of crazy. We're not going to announce that. I don't know. It's so... this goes deep in so many levels. I'm geeking out, obviously. I am just... I mean, of course, I have been very into the things that I've been learning about Genshin as I go. And there are moments where I do get amped up, like, you know, reading Before Sun and Moon, or getting into Enkanomiya for the first time in general. Encountering Raiden Shogun, and she's like an actual Archon that wants to kick your ass when you first encounter her. Like, there's a lot of these hype moments that we've went through. But where it picks up for me, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna love Sumeru, but Fontaine is something I know very little about, but I'm really excited for that story based off of my theories about that. And then and now, you know, there were things about, I'm hearing some great like world quest potential stuff when it comes to Natlin, so that's something. There's still some things I want to see from Natlin. I don't know if we're gonna get that, but it'd be great. And now we have this return to Mondstadt, and I am just so hyped. I am so hyped for it. The return of these older characters. Jean, freaking love Jean. You know, there is all sorts of stuff coming, and it's fantastic. I need to talk about one more thing, at least one or two more things. But we've got our big mysterious boy on the cover of this thing, and of course it is Barbados. It is Venti. Hexenzirkel. Okay, not Hexen Circle. Hexenzirkel. Okay. Anyway, we got our Animo Archon, our windy boy, our piece of the thousand winds, Venti, the guy who knows all the songs from the past, present, and future. In my opinion, this guy has seen the entire story already. And that's one of the reasons why he's so mysterious and sketchy as he is, because he's here and he's putting things or assisting things a specific way to make things happen. And that's my opinion. But the guy knows a lot. And how he is trying to contact Alice and ends up contacting Varka. That gets me wondering things, you know. The fact that we're going to hear Varka, I mean, we did a little bit. It's very contorted, but that there's going to be lines of him being spoken to is big. And I don't know if this happens anywhere before. I know a lot of people want to see Varka. I don't think we're going to see him in this, but the fact that Varka is a voice at all, I think is big, and it's only leading to him eventually appearing very, very soon. I'm imagining there's going to be Varka and Snezhnaya. If not a playable character, at least as an NPC or something like that. Like I'd be really surprised if he's not. Alice is one thing. I think Alice will eventually appear too, and it'll be a really big deal. But I think Varka might actually appear before Alice. That's just a guess. There's no way I could know that, right? But anyway, Venti being here, being as mysterious as he is, being involved. It is the Windbloom Festival. I did like in the beginning how you see him, you know, performing in the town square, but underneath the statue and stuff, as he does in Windbloom Festival, as bards do, all that stuff. And then later on in the trailer, he's just standing up high with his bow out. Like, this guy's on guard now. Like, we got Venti with his weapon out. That's, I mean, I don't know. This guy's usually like fun, goof, scaffs, just like whatever, haha, and going about his own way. And the last time we saw him get involved in anything really was, at least from my experience, was the very beginning of the game. And even then, it wasn't like an aggressive approach to anything. It was just like, I'm going to communicate with Dvalin. I'ma sing a song. And yeah, but now you actually see him here, and he's like bow at the ready. So I'm kind of like, ooh. Whether or not this actually means anything, it's whatever, but that's a cool feeling to me. Like, when Venti gets serious, I feel like that would be actually incredibly scary. Like, I know there's people that will be like, this Archon's stronger than this Archon, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that, to me, that doesn't really matter as much. It's, for me, it gets more intense when you have a character who is normally just kind of like very lighthearted, like not taking things too seriously. And then the moment when that character does get serious, then you're like, oh shit. So if we do see a serious moment from Venti, that's gonna be freaking crazy to me. I'm not sure if it would actually happen. We will see, because Venti is Venti, and because he knows a lot, there might not be a reason to get too intense. Like, even when he got jumped by Senora and let her take his Gnosis, you know, like, that happened that way. But that also did him a favor, in my opinion. At the same time, during that scene, he's like getting kicked around. He's still talking shit. And it's just like, yes, you are the bard. I get it. Awesome. But to actually, if we get a moment of him actually being like very serious, like in a fight or something like that, then I'm going to be just applauding. I swear, because, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot going on. And there's so many questions that I have about where this is going to go and all of that stuff. There's also, I didn't talk about this in the special program, but there is a Chronicled Wish banner coming up. I'm actually happy that it's sooner than later. I thought we weren't going to get one for a while, and this makes it a lot better now. So, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, I mean, I don't know if there's probably other things I can look and I could say at. I mean, some of the choreography that they showed here from the scenes that are happening are great. The different shots that we have, I kind of went into that a little bit. All the different members in the court. You know, you have Diluc, you have Kaya, you have Rosaria there, you have Sucrose there. What are the chances that Sucrose killed that person for their bones, huh? What do you think about that? Anyway, no, she wouldn't do that. Not in front of people. That'd be crazy. I'm joking. Anyway, guys, this is... wait 1 second. We're going to talk about this real quick. The characters you have on here. You got your Jean. You got your Venti. You got your Albedo. You got the Traveler and Paimon. You got Kaya. But what's the background? You have dragon spine. And I can't help but think about the Simulanka stuff with the whole like, yeah, you know, Durin, he's gonna come back. He's coming back. Will we see any of that? Are we gonna get that crazy? I feel like they would have showed something, but they might not have. They might not have. They might have held back on that. But we do have dragon spine in the background. Is that just because Albedo's here? Or is that actually hinting to the primordial Albedo being a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, why would we show Dragonspine behind Albedo and these guys? Why would we do that? Kaya has some things to do with knowing things that, you know, with the, he said some stuff if you listen to his voice lines. Venti's always sketch. Jean's just trying to do her best. But she's also connected to Varka. And we know that we speak to him. Like, there's things. There are so many things to pull from this. It's gonna take me forever to get here. Goddamn. Anyway. I have, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I think I've said enough. I've rambled on to, this is almost an hour. That's stupid. I'm gonna go now. If you enjoyed this at all, then let me know by leaving a comment down below. Check out the description for additional ways of how to support me. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, you should go and do that thing. It takes less than a second. The button's right there. Please go and do that if you did enjoy this. Thanks again for listening to my rambles, and I hope you are as excited about this as I am. That's it. Until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.